Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Social Distance Show, the show that unfortunately will never end. I said that I would do this every day, and I did not know that it would already be this long and with no discernible end in sight, but that is okay because we're really enjoying this. However, I do want to say, just in case you're watching this and you're a normal viewer, this is going to be the only social distance show until Saturday because we have some more fun stuff coming up. We're going to do Ask Dan with the Lieutenant Governor, Dan McKee, tomorrow night at 7. So check that out. If you have questions, small business questions, anything like that, you can literally ask the Lieutenant Governor live, just like this, in the comments. So check out Ask Lieutenant Dan McKee tomorrow night. And then I'm doing some stuff for the Episcopal Church, live streams for Holy Week for them at 7. So that's going to supersede the show. We might do it at a different time, but the 7 o'clock live stream will not be happening for the rest of the week, Thursday, Friday, and Wednesday. But none of that matters because today I'm making the most important person in my household very, very happy. And I'm extremely happy as well because I have Brian Saviano on, maybe better known as Bricks O'Brien. He is a content creator, and it's well, you know what? I'm just gonna bring him on because I'm really excited and he's here. So let's get right to it. Brian, how are you, man?
I am living the best dream possible given the circumstances of society and the world as we know it. Thank you for having me here on the show. And, hope that you all are hanging in there as best that you can. It's quite the time, especially in the New England area. So bracing every single day, man. It's all we can do.
Absolutely. You are somebody that is helping a lot of people get through that because you are a content creating machine. And there seems to be no end to every morning, basically. So I'm just gonna start with this. Every single morning, you create family friendly video game and is it video game and building content or just
It's more so video gaming content, a lot more recently podcasting and live streaming like that. Yeah.
And on Amazon, you're on Amazon Prime every single morning at 7 a.m. or before 7 a.m. I am typing in your name or someone else is typing in your name to our devices. And then whatever comes up, we know is fine and good. And we're comfortable with him watching. This is an actual video from this morning. Just so we get some clarity, some joy.
Hair. Oh man. Oh, I saw you sent me this clip earlier, and I watched. Oh man.
Make it work.
Yeah,
the dance moves from Mario Party. That's awesome.
Yeah, he's up and he's moving with you, and also, do you want to come here? He's all ready for bed. Brian, this is one of your biggest fans. This is Braden.
Oh, hello, Braden.
Here, buddy, put the headphones on.
Hi.
Hi, Braden.
How
are you?
Good.
Excellent. Thank you for watching my videos, man. I appreciate it.
Good.
Do you want to say hi? Do you have a question for him?
Any questions? What?
Okay.
Maybe no. Yes.
Today I watched I remember yesterday I watched the Splatoon 2 one.
Oh, very nice.
And then today I watched Mario Party.
Nice. I'm going to be playing more Mario Party and Splatoon very soon, so hopefully you look forward to more videos. I'm always working on something, so I'm glad you're enjoying it, buddy.
Don't hit the headphones. Did you want to tell him something? Why are you struggling so much? Okay. All right. Are you okay?
Yeah.
All right. Thank
guess
you,
I'm
buddy.
There we go.
He's starstruck.
Hey, well,
Do you want to say goodbye? Do you want to wave goodbye? No, you do. This is the most awkward part to start to an interview. Do you want to say something else? You can. Just say it into the microphone. You're no.
no.
No? Do you want okay. All right. All right. Love you, buddy. Good night. So yeah, that's every day. And thank you for
You're
that.
welcome.
Because he absolutely loves watching Mario and Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, which is something I didn't know existed.
Sure you do now.
I do, yeah. And speaking of speaking of the situation, the sickness as we're referring to it, it was his birthday last week, and some, obviously, like, you're not going out to the store like you normally would and buying just whatever, or you don't even want to necessarily order things. I went and got my old Wii from my parents' house
Nice.
to give to him, and he when we started playing the original Mario and Super Mario 3, and he started naming all of the, like, the Goombas and the what's the name of the leaf, buddy? The Tanuki leaf. And we're like, I didn't even know. How do you know all of these
Right.
names of everything?
Yep.
And it's you, man. He was so much more knowledgeable than we were about playing these games. And that's all from you. And so how did you, Braden, you're getting a lot of you got, that kid is so cute, and then the Mario Dance Revolution HD looks great. So people are talking and watching right now. So okay. Good night, buddy. Love you. And what made you want to, you do family friendly content, and I like, it's for everybody. As an adult, I enjoy watching your content. But one of the reasons that we love it so much is because it's safe for kids, and it's, I mean, the clip that we showed earlier of the dance party, like, you're you're talking along and you're commentating on it, and you're you're encouraging the kids to have, you're encouraging whoever, honestly, to have fun and play, and you're playing these games that are so joy filled anyway, and you're bringing that to them, and it's such a nice way to go about it. How did you come to make that decision?
Well, I mean, so it's a combination of a couple things. So when I first started doing this a bit more full time and a bit more seriously, it was right when I was coming out of high school. And I had been doing things for a long time before that, probably toward the beginning of middle school, when before this was even like a massive thing. So during that time, it was like, all right, I'm going to record videos via camera, the video feature that's not even the main feature of the camera. I'm going to record my Nintendo DS while my mother isn't home and upload it and see what happens. And that was also during the time where my mother was like, well, I don't want you talking to strangers on the internet and blah, 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 blah. Now, with the internet now, we're getting into strangers' cars to go from point A to point B with Uber and Lyft. So clearly things have changed very much with the perception of the internet. And I had just going out of high school was like, okay, I've grown out of the adolescence and wanted to, be an adult and whatever. And seeing all the types of people that go about making content, either being edgy or trying to be funny via excessively swearing and just being dumb and being over the top for the sake of getting clicks or getting whatever, was never who I was as a person. And I tried when I was younger to emulate that, and it wasn't me. And I would have, I'm always been told my entire life, just be who you are. Don't try to be something you're not or whatever. And I don't have the energy for that. I don't know many people who do. And it just so happened that I love to talk. I love to hear myself talk, most importantly. And I learned to articulate my thoughts in a constructive way that's also, funny without needing to swear or be like, "Rah!" and, try to be like that. And eventually I noticed that people weren't just watching because they had nothing else to watch. They were watching because they enjoyed my outlook or who I am as a person or whatever. And that continued to grow into what it is today. So it was a combination of what I was going through when I was younger, what I wanted to become as a person, what messages I wanted to convey in my content, which is always to be positive, but also be realistic. When I have something going on and I can't live stream because something happened to me or a family member or whatever, I'm like, all right, I'm not feeling it. I'm out. I'm sorry, guys. Like that's that. And I have no issue telling my audience that and being just who I am, because we're all human. And especially with what's going on right now, I'm not talking about it directly in videos, but it's still the tone of, all right, yeah, something's going on. I'm not going to ignore it. Let's not ignore it. Let's make sure that, people are aware of what's going on. Like a moment, a moment I think of in Animal Crossing that I just finished up season 1 of was like, Isabel in the game when you're logging in for the day, it converted from March to April, and she's like, "Oh, I hope April or March treated you really well," and I just start laughing, and I'm like, anyways, all right, let's continue with the video. And like that style of humor, that type of outlook is what I wanted to hone into on a more articulated professional, I use very loosely, but professional level. So it's just and it's everything that's happened in my life growing up and how I became to be as a human being. That plays in everything too. So it's a long-winded answer, but
No, I love it, and I think that that's the well, first of all, that's the ingredient that makes all great family entertainment is you're not dumbing it down for the kids, and you're not being real for the adults, but you don't have to be edgy, and you don't, and that's the um Cole just said you're the best, Brian, and I
thank
agree.
you.
You know, that's I mean that's what's great. That's what makes great entertainment that you can watch with everybody. And you're playing games for the most part that are really, or not for the most part. I've never seen one that isn't, that are engaging for the whole family, and they're games that the whole family would play together.
Right.
So, do you have a lot of? So obviously, there's a huge contingency of adults that have grown up playing these games and now play them with their kids, or still play them just by themselves. And so, how often do you get fans that are watching that are just adult men or women that just love watching you play and what you're doing?
It's actually all the time.
Yeah.
And that makes me very happy because again, I don't make any content I do specifically for for kids or for children. It happens to be what it is. And I'm like, all right. But in that same vein, there's plenty of people who watch me that are 18, 19 years old. One of the fans that has recently come on board with the live streams and whatnot, Dave, he's like a grown adult with 2 businesses and no kids, and or not he watches for me. Like, it's not because there's a 5-year-old with him, and I'm like, all right, well, cool, I'm glad you like it. And
Yeah.
I think that is key to appealing to a wider demographic. If you try to really specifically cater to just kids, well, I mean, I would get exhausted by that. Like, hey, kids, it's Brian. We're going to play Animal Crossing, and then not for nothing, when you're playing the videos on the TV, then you get annoyed. And I'm like, all right, well, I don't want to do that,
Yeah. And that's a really good point, because one of the reasons why I think that you're so great is there were a lot of first of all, you are on. So, like I said at the start, like we watch you on Amazon Prime, because it's curated. Unlike just typing in like Mario to YouTube.
Sure.
So it's so that we know that we can trust that because, 2 or 3 years ago, um, he would just with other people, other adults in the family or whatever, he would type in Mario, and then the first video would be maybe be great, and then the second video would be somebody trying to be edgy, and then you would skip that video, and it would get real weird, and then so you just never know what it's going to be. But then also there's people creating content who are the hey everybody, and that can also be really annoying, like you said. So to have that mix of trustworthy, entertaining, and just pleasant to hear. Somebody said we love hearing you talk, and I agree. You have a wonderful voice for this.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Have you done any like? Did you ever think? I know that you're doing podcasts and stuff now. But did you ever think about like broadcast or radio or anything when you were growing up?
So, truth be told, I wanted to, when I was on my way out of high school, one of the things I thought I wanted to do was to go into film, because I love to, make things and be on camera. Well, not even be on camera, because I didn't want to be an actor, but to make movies and to make things. And then I realized, all right, a lot of the nitty gritty about film school, about, you really need to geek out over the lenses and the f-stop and the ISO needs to be right and the lights, and it takes forever. And I'm like, I just want to make cool stuff, man. I don't have the attention span, and I don't really care about this. I just want to do the thing. So it just so happened that with the way life has been, that it's worked out for me so far. I've always known that I wanted to talk about the things I wanted to talk about in some capacity. And if I could make that into a career, then great. If not, then all right. I've joked about before that if everything were to stop today and I'd shift to a new career, it would be a chef or something. Open up a sub shop and live just life, chilling around where I'm at now. Just serve up the people and all that. But I guess I've found myself in this position of, commentating and entertaining people. And it really is, a lot of it's a microphone. I think you might be attributing it a little too much to me personally. It's a microphone. This is a beautiful microphone. It helps. So
it is. That is a beautiful microphone. I have one downstairs. You can see it. I don't know why I choose the SM58 instead for this stuff, but it is a beautiful microphone. And everybody sounds more articulate when you're watching them talking to a microphone.
Yeah, right.
This setup, just having a mic and have people tend to think that you're more eloquent than you are. Not that you aren't. You actually are.
Wow. Well, I mean,
I tend to trick people sometimes.
I trick them too. Trust me. As much as I've developed my skills and become better at what I've done, I know nothing. I don't know the actual etiquette when it comes to podcasting and enunciating my words properly. And I never went to, speech therapy. I have a little bit of a lisp. Like I don't know everything, but I'm just like, all right, I'll just be myself and keep going. And it's a weird thing that kind of happens. Like when I do videos and when I do this sort of thing, my brain kind of goes into like this autopilot mode where I somehow take the stop or the cork out of like the thing that can mess you up. When you're asking out a beautiful woman, you see her across the bar and you're like, like it just comes unplugged and I just let it all go and it just keeps going. And then in my videos, that happens for like a half hour straight, or I edit it up sometimes and whatever. And that's just what I've developed this skill over years, and it hasn't netted me a girlfriend yet, but who knows if I can just unplug that when I go to, wherever. But that's something that I don't think that you could teach someone. It's just something that you'll develop over time or you have naturally. I don't know, but that's
Speaking of
part of it.
time, how much time do you, obviously you do this full time. This is a full-time gig for you. How much time are you playing video games?
So I couldn't give you a numerical amount. It depends. So I play video games enough that if I'm hanging out with my friends later that night or the next day and they're like, "Oh yeah, you want to play Resident Evil over here, you want to play Jackbox or something," I'm like, "I'm off the clock. I don't want to bother. Like, just leave it." Like, it's to that point. So, you know, it's a lot. So recently, not all of the time was obviously put on video, but I put 75 hours into Animal Crossing over the past 2 weeks. So that's pretty standard for a game.
I was gonna ask if you get sick of playing games in your free time, and the answer is yes.
Yeah, I mean, that's what's going to happen if you make anything you love into a career, and unless it's something like I guess with like drawing and illustration, you can formulate a new style and practice. But like a game that I'm basically demonstrating for hours at a time, I already know how it works. I'm just trying to keep do it over and over and over again. So, I mean,
Do you ever play games that you're tired of?
so the kind of sorta. So I make it very clear when I do my live streams specifically, like I play what I want to play. So I actually I recently implemented in my early in the live streams, I'll put up the rules and I'm like, all right, chat, here we go. Don't ask for specific games, don't whatever, because like if I catered to everything anyone ever wanted me to play, I would be burned out, which has happened plenty of times before, and then B, it'd be something I'm not enjoying. And I'd rather, if you want me to play like Undertale, for example, I'd rather wait for Undertale for October when it's Halloween, it's spooky, I got the lights and it's the vibe and it's the whatever, and then I can make way for other things and do these other things. So like it depends. But I also am of the mindset that like, all right, if people want me to play Fortnite on Fridays, I'm going to give them Fortnite Fridays at 5.
Yeah.
And that's okay. It's only one day a week. It's a couple hours and people really enjoy it. But if I really got sick of it, I'd be like, all right, I'm done. And that's just how it's going to be. And if people don't watch on live streams on Fridays, all right. Like that's just, if I'm not enjoying it, then it's bad content. It's bad quality. And I'm not going to do that,
How much post-production work is there for you? Especially on something like being syndicated to like Amazon.
Sure.
Are you taking the live streams and putting them up, or is there a bunch of post-production, and do you have to do specific things for those types of deals?
Yeah, so with live streams, they don't go up in any video form except for a replay on Twitch or YouTube. So if you missed it, you can just view it in its entirety. I don't chop it up right now, but I'd love to have like an editor go through and make, like, I'm sure you may have seen like a stream highlight reel, and then like all the funny moments of this hour and a half get condensed to like 10 or something like that.
Yeah.
That's something that is an art in itself that I don't have the brain capacity to deal with right now. So I'd rather reallocate that to someone else. But with the videos, typically, because I talk and mostly know what I'm talking about for a period at a time, I'll know, okay, this is when I need to edit, this is when it's done. And because I'm recording it, I can chop it up pretty quick. So if I left it to someone else, it would take a little bit of time. But if I know, all right, I'm going to cut this part out and I'll just stop talking. So when I see it on the timeline, chop, chop, boom, done. And then I just do that for however many videos at a time. But it's definitely more time than anyone realizes, for sure. And
Yeah.
I'm sure Braden and everyone else watches a series I do that takes me a week in a day, and I'm like, all right, well, I guess I'll do more, because like everyone's gonna watch it quicker than I can produce it. That's just how it works.
Yeah, for sure. I was just gonna I completely lost my train of thought.
I do it all the time.
He got overwhelmed and is like crying because he doesn't want to go to sleep in the other room.
I feel that way at like 2 a.m. too. I feel you.
Me too. For sure. So when you I'm trying to get the thought back, and all
That's
I'm
okay.
thinking about
When I try,
when you try to
blink, blink.
I don't even know what I was gonna say now, and it's really frustrating.
That's okay.
So you talked about doing podcasts
Yep.
more. Where can people find you on podcasts and platforms that aren't strictly video streaming?
Yeah, so I'm trying to figure out what I want to do for a podcast solo. A lot of my efforts have gone toward helping other creators. I was just today on a YouTube channel called Beyond the Brick, where they have a bunch of people on that are not reporters, but like people that show up and help out occasionally, and I'm one of them. So I'll co-host with Josh, one of the guys there, once a week right now, and typically my live streams are glorified podcasts. Most of the people that watch those live streams are like, we just like hearing you talk. We don't care what you do. So
Yeah.
it ends up working out that way. Trying to articulate a show consistently in a way that I like is kind of difficult for what, like, I have all sorts of ideas and visions, but like a cohesive piece of content, I haven't found it quite yet, but I'm always experimenting. So
I would like to say that we watched some of that live stream while I was looking for stuff about this interview, and Braden and his mom watch Lego Masters together
yes.
every
And
week,
yep.
and they wanted me to tell you that they love Boone.
Yep.
Um, so another thing is I saw on your IMDb that you had a directed by credit
Mhm.
for some Zebra Gamer stuff. Is that not accurate?
Nope,
There was
not at
there
all.
was something that said Zebra Gamer and it said directed
Nope.
by Brian Saviano.
No. So that IMDb page has been a mess for a long time. And like I told you in the pre-show, I've actually tried to change it and they just won't let me change it. So
Okay.
I have talked to Zebra Gamer multiple times. Great guy. We're very friendly, but I have not directed anything. Zilch.
I was
Nothing.
gonna ask you what you do with producing other uh content creators' content,
You can
but
cross that right off the
but
list.
no.
No.
All right.
No, I mean, I don't know how that would even become to, because I don't know who edits those. Like, if I can't
Right.
edit them, who's editing them?
I
Like,
don't know. Maybe
uh,
it was his Zach
maybe it
Scott
was
is his
him.
name,
I
right?
don't know.
Maybe it was him. I don't know.
I'll talk to him about it. That's
Maybe I was
reasonable.
given false information.
Whatever.
I will find that person. What do you have a favorite game to play? Do you have a favorite game to play personally, and do you have a favorite game to play and stream?
So my favorite game of all time, as many people who may be listening right now know, is Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door on the Nintendo GameCube, and it is a game I have not played on video. One of my favorite creators, The Completionist, has always said that when he completes a game every week, that when he's done doing that, the last game he'll play is Donkey Kong Country 2, because that's his favorite game of all time. So I always said, all right, if I'm done when you see that live, that's when I'm done. Like, I'm done doing the video game playing thing and I'm moving on to something else. So that one I have not done. And people have asked me, well, if they come out with an HD remaster, what would you do? And I'm like, I'd probably just play it myself. I don't want to, put false, info out there. Like, oh, I'm done now. Like, no. Personal favorite game to play. It changes by really the time of year. Minecraft is always the staple. You can do so much with it and interact with people in massive groups. Mario Odyssey is one of my favorites of 2017. Breath of the Wild. It really it just depends, and I don't really play much else off camera that wouldn't be suitable for a family friendly shtick. Like, I played Red Dead Redemption 2, and I love that.
Yep.
And obviously not going to cover that one, but
That was my next question, was what's a game that you love that you wouldn't cover, but
yeah, so the original Red Dead for sure, Red Dead 2. I really love Titanfall 2. That campaign is really nice. You know, I play Call of Duty, and I mentioned that in my live streams and videos. Like, I have no problem saying like, hey, I play this game. I'm an adult. Like, you know,
Right.
just because you're potentially underage or not suitable for you, like this is what I do. You know,
Yep.
and I've dabbled in things like Halo and other rated M games, but most of the time, those games don't catch my interest anyways. So, like The Last of Us 2, Last of Us in general, I'd rather watch a movie than experience the game, and it's basically a movie. So, and usually the dark, depressing things, I'm like, I got enough going on in my life. I don't want that in video games too. I want the happy stuff. So
Yes.
that's usually where I gravitate toward. Yeah.
That's how I feel about TV shows and
Yeah.
and movies. I don't really want the I want comedy, or I want to be, or just something with a happy ending.
Right.
In general. I mean, I like everything, but
Totally.
so I'm going to end with this because this made me forever happy for a minute, and then you crushed me.
Uh-oh. What did I do?
You mentioned, we were watching a live stream yesterday. So yesterday, you had posted at some point, there was a preview before one of your videos that was like a card, and you read it. It was a letter or something, and you read it, and it was addressing the situation right now.
Yeah.
And it was very nice, and it caught my attention because most of the time, if you're on the TV, it's because we're making breakfast, trying to get stuff ready in the morning, and he loves it so much that he's really zoned in before school or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw it and I went, man, that's awesome. That's so awesome. And then I think in that same video, you talked about how much you struggled playing original Mario. and I was like, oh my God, this is my chance. This is my chance to be a hero to this 5-year-old boy.
Yeah.
Because I can beat Mario, the original Super Mario, I can beat in 12 minutes, which is not super impressive, but I can do it. And I'm excited, and he saw me do it like yesterday, and I was like, I'm going to watch Brian struggle, and I'm finally going to have something.
Yep.
And you immediately are like, well, first of all, I'm not doing the warps. I'm not doing the time warps. I'm going straight through. And then he looks over at me immediately, and he's like, he's still better than you. And I was like, I know. I'm so sorry. So you got me up, and then you crushed me.
I've always been a 3D Mario player. So the 2D games have never been my favorite, just from a design standpoint and everything else. So, and I grew up with Mario 64. So that was my childhood when I was his age, what I was playing on the TV. So going back to 2D, it's definitely tough, and my patience and when I'm doing that on video, it's also like, all right, well, I want to make sure I get this done in this certain time frame. And if you give me all the time in the world, I could absolutely do it. And when I focus, and then obviously when I'm talking and doing that at the same time, that's like two, actions going at the same time. It's like,
I only knew 2D Mario, and then I switched, and I was a Sega then PlayStation kid.
Mm-hmm.
So the first time I saw 3D Mario, I was like, this feels weird, and I never got into it. So like every time when I've watched like Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, and my only experience with 3D Mario is through you.
Mm-hmm.
So I watch it, and I'm like, I don't know anything. I don't know how you would know where to go.
Yeah.
Like, so that's awesome. And it's cool. I enjoy the games. I don't think I would be able to play one very well, but I really enjoy watching you as an adult play them, and it's very nice and nostalgic. And I just want to say thank you for everything that you do, and I really appreciate it. And also, if you have a second off air, I got a text that he is very sorry that he got overwhelmed, and he would like to come in and say hello one more time.
Of course.
But we'll do that off air. So thank you very much, Brian. Also, I just want to say to everybody that you have a post on your Facebook page that people have been asking for, with a lot of birthdays getting canceled as Braden's did. People have been asking for videos or voicemails or whatever of you saying happy birthday. And you put up this great thing where you said, I don't want money for it, but there's a charity that I like to support, and it's called Child's Play. So I have the information to donate to Child's Play down at the bottom. And I know that thousands of people in my town that will watch this tonight at some point will see this. So hopefully you guys go donate. This is a great, great organization. Can you just tell us a little bit about Child's Play?
Yeah, so Child's Play is a charity that provides games and consoles and different things to kids that are in hospitals. So just like my content is all about, taking your mind off of things that are happening every once in a while, for these kids, video games and people in general, it's used as an escape through whatever they're going through. So obviously there's an incredible amount of great causes that are out there, but this one, really resonates with me as someone who does this for a living and enjoys video games. And I'm sure some of you out there have kids that also enjoy video games, and who needs it more than kids in hospitals right now. So I know there's a lot of things going on. If there's any amount of money you can donate, that'd be incredibly appreciative. It doesn't need to be in my name or anyone else's name, just anything. I greatly appreciate it. It's always my charity of choice. So and really any cause you have that's close to your heart. Again, I know the times are tough. But any good that we can do from the comfort of our own homes is greatly appreciated. So, yeah, thank you for putting that scroll down at the bottom there. I appreciate that.
Thank you, man, and thank you for doing this so much. This has been honestly my favorite show that we've done so far. So thank you very much, and thank you all for watching. If you are watching on Westerly Live right now, you can check out the Caswell Cook Show at 8:00 with Greg Piccolo.
What are they cooking?
It's just his name.
Oh,
Caswell Cook, Cooke. He's a jerk. Don't worry about him.
Oh, never mind.
I mean, I'm producing the show, but
okay.
He's a jerk.
Okay, cool.
Don't watch it unless you like Roomful of Blues, in which case Greg Piccolo will be on at 8. We have like rock stars, like Rock and Roll Hall of Famers and stuff on every night, and he's a town councilman, so he like answers questions.
Nice.
Why am I plugging his show? Don't watch the Caswell Cook Show. If you want real enjoyment, go watch Brian Saviano and follow him.
Well, thank you.
Totally optional.
Brian. I mean, hey, I appreciate your time and thank you for having me on.
Thank you. And all right. Have a good night.
Thank you. Bye.